Hello and welcome to the World Economic Forum in Davos. My guest today has been at the helm of one of the world's biggest advertising and communications firms for 30 years. In that time, he's overseen massive growth of a company in a drastically changing world. Maurice Levy, Chief Executive of Publicis, thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you for having me.
2017 looks like a very uncertain year ahead. You've been at the top level of business for 3 decades. Are you worried about 2017?
I have worried every year about the coming year. So it's something which is quite common. It's second nature to me. And when you look at 2017, there are a lot of uncertainties. Nobody knows exactly what Trump will be doing. There is a lot of positive aspects, and there is a good mood from the CEOs about the attitude and the policy of Donald Trump as regard to economy. We know that China will be extremely positive and forthcoming in terms of globalization, and we have heard Xi Jinping. There is the Brexit, which is not the good news, and not for the British, but not for the EU. And there is the elections in France, in Germany, in the Netherlands. There is also some uncertainty. So it's some positive aspect and some uncertainties. As always, what we need to do is to take things from the optimistic side and to act in a very strong way to generate the growth that we need. This is what we are going to do.
Speaking about Brexit, are you optimistic about the UK's economic prospects in the coming years?
As the Prime Minister of the Netherlands has said, they have sacrificed prosperity in favor of limiting immigration. I don't believe that this is a good bet, and I think that they would have been much better for their own future by staying with the EU. I don't believe it is a good news for the EU, unless if France and Germany, with the other countries, are taking the measure of what's happening and are changing the way we are operating in Europe, and are changing the way Europe is managed and is positioned today in the global scene. So there is a lot of decision that has to be made, and they believe that France has a big task. They have to do a lot of reforms in order to have a voice and in order to be, with the German duo, to be really pushing the envelope.
Some companies have already begun looking at moving staff from London because of Brexit. Will Publicis be following suit, do you think?
What we have in London is operation dedicated to the London market and to the British market. And this, we don't see any reason to move this from London. We have some headquarters, particularly for the media, and we don't believe that we need to change this. The other aspect, there is people in the banks particularly who are operating from London on either a global basis or a European basis. And as they will lose the European passport, they will have to move, and hopefully they will move to Paris. And I recommend that they move to Paris.
But why Paris? What does Paris have that should be attract them over Frankfurt or over Dublin?
There is many advantages. The first thing, it's good for the families, it's good for the people, it is a good environment, and it is a good balance. And in a time where we are speaking about balance of life, it's important to be in a place where people are happy to live. It's not a punishment to live in Paris. I'm not saying that it is a punishment to live in Frankfurt, so don't get me wrong. The other aspect is that the government is ready to do a lot of things to make the life of the people coming from London much easier. And tax-wise, they are easing a lot of aspects, which I believe will be good for the people themselves. And last but not least, from a geographical point of view, we are the center of Europe. So there is no better place for being in Europe than Paris. So when you look at all these aspects, and I can add the infrastructure, I can add the airport, I can add the fact that we have all the facilities, the apartment, everything. So I think it's a no-brainer. So if they have to choose, easy. Paris, La Belle Ville.
You mentioned French government policies there. Have you been impressed with François Hollande as president?
I would not put it that way. I think that he has done his best. I think he started from the wrong foot, and this was something which has impeded all his mandate by making the wrong decision at the beginning. And there are some areas where he has done a very good job. If there is one thing for which I'm giving him a lot of credit, is clearly on startups. And he has helped the ecosystem, the French ecosystem, to be a very strong competitive market for the startups and for the platforms. So I believe that this is something which will last, and it will be extremely important for France for the future. So at least there is this. And there are some reforms which he has started to do, Loi Macron, Loi Travail. I don't believe that those reforms have gone as far as they should have gone. And I think that there is still a long way to go before we are at the right place for playing the role that we have to play, which is one of the biggest roles in Europe. And as I'm saying, France is not a problem for Europe, it is a solution. But to be that solution, we need to fix our issues.
And when you look at the candidates for this year's election, then, are you impressed by anyone? Is there anyone that you think can carry out those issues that need to be addressed?
I'm very curious of what's happening, and I'm looking at every single candidate. I must say, a little bit sad for the socialist primary. I would have preferred that they have a better debate and better candidate and something which is more attractive, because it's a party of government, and it's important that we have a balance. I'm very much interested by what Macron is doing, and what he has done so far is very, very interesting. I'm also very much surprised and very much interested by François Fillon. It's very impressive. Everyone was considering that he was dead and that he will not even pass the primary. And not only he won, but now he's head-to-head with Marine Le Pen, and I believe that it's good to have that combination.
Could Marine Le Pen be the next president, do you think? Is that likely?
It is unlikely, and it is really an idea that I prefer not to imagine. It is unimaginable that France will give her a mandate to run the country.
You were going to be stepping down this year as CEO of Publicis. Will you miss the job after 30 years, or are you looking forward to something coming next?
I will put an ad in the press in order to say, after having put my office on Airbnb, I will put an ad to look for a new job.
Okay. Any ideas, anything you'd like to do next?
Maybe a startup, I don't know. Or maybe I will be looking for a small job at Publicis. I thought that being a doorman should be a nice job, because I'm early bird, and I'm late at night, so I can open and close. It will save some money.
I'm sure the company will be delighted by that. What would you say, if you were to take lessons from your time running such a big company, what would you say that you'd like to pass on to your successor?
Passion. Passion. The passion for our clients, the passion for our people, the passion for our brand, the passion to innovate permanently, to invent new ways of communication, the passion to be true to our values, and to work passionately in this incredible field of creativity. This is something which is the most rewarding job beside yours in the world. You know, it's fantastic, because there is a combination of IQ, you have to understand what's going on. EQ, you have to work with your heart. TQ, because it's all about technology nowadays. And BQ, because you have to be bloody quick in this world.
And how involved will you be in the search for your successor?
I don't know. This is something that we are discussing with the board, and the board will make its own decision.
Is there anything you particularly regret from your time at Publicis, the Omnicom merger? Would you have liked that to have happened?
There is plenty of things that I regret to have not been able to do, or to have not been able to achieve, or the failures that I have seen. But, you know, when you look at the balance, when I took over, it was a company of roughly 200 million euros of revenue, 3,000 people. We are about 10 billion of revenue, 80,000 people. We had a market cap of 150 million. We are a 15 billion market cap. So it's more or less good, quite good, as we would say. Some people who are a little bit exaggerating would say pretty good. But I feel quite good about this achievement. And it's good that I have not finished the work, because there is plenty of good things that my successor and the team surrounding him or her will be able to do. So there is so many things that I feel that we have a rock-solid company that will be led by a rock-solid team, and that we will go to the next mile with a lot of energy, and there is a winning finishing line every year for this team. So I feel extremely good.
Okay, Maurice Levy, thank you very much for speaking to us. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, more news coming up on France 24.